Yo, what's up, gang? Coming back at you with another video, and we finna get into something a little different. So if you guys haven't seen my Doki Literature Club playthrough already, this is actually gonna be the tier list. There's not just gonna be any tier list, it's gonna be a tier list of which character glazed me the hardest. Now, spoilers alert. Well, it may or may not be a spoiler for most people, but for those who haven't seen the playthrough, a little spoiler. So I guess apparently I'm a young male in this, would you call it an isekai? No, not really isekai, but in the story. And I was kind of like thrown, more so coerced into joining this literature club. And it's a literature club full of very charming women, you know, some a little too charming, I might add. But yeah, I basically got thrown into this literature club, and now like all the girls in there are like hitting on me, some more subtle than others. And there's one character in particular who is a little manipulative. Well, maybe not a little, but very manipulative. But yeah, this is gonna be I'm gonna say it without really saying too much, but this is gonna be a playthrough of which character glazed me the hardest. And after I'm finished with this, let me know what you guys think. Like I said, spoilers alert. So let's get into the video. All right, so first up I have on my list is Sayori right here. I'm gonna have her like D tier Riz, just because she's a little bit of an anomaly. So let me explain. So Sayori, she's my childhood friend, and I guess quote unquote secret admirer, which you could kind of tell like throughout our interactions, or maybe we were just really good friends, which the story does say that, you know, we've grown up together, we always walked to school together, this, that, and the third. So they made it vividly clear that, you know, we were friends. Remember that, friends. And I guess apparently she is the vice president of the literature club that she coerced me into joining. Like I said, coerced, not asked. I got coerced into joining a literature club, which, I mean, did sound kind of lame until I met all the other members, which kind of made it like a little bit better. Now, throughout the story, you couldn't really tell because she's always a very happy-go-lucky person. But I guess in one of her side stories, it shows that she has very high feelings of depression. Like she feels like very like how can I explain it? A lot of self-worthlessness. Like she doesn't have any self-worth. She always thinks that people caring for her is her being weak, and the way she explains it, it's just kind of like she hates it when people care about her, and when she thinks that people care about her, they pity her. It's weird, right? Like, I mean, I get it, but I don't. It's like, you know, that's why you have friends. You have friends who are there for you. You have friends that want to care for you. But in her mind, because she doesn't have any, you know, self-worth, she just thinks that everybody's pitying her, and to hide it, she just wants everything to be happy, which, you know, isn't the case all the time. You can't be happy all the time. Sure, you could put up a front, but, you know, you have your days. You have your good days, you have your bad days. And Sayori, she just tries to, as she likes to put it, she just wants everybody to be happy. But, you know, we don't live in a world where everybody can just be happy. And I guess in one of her side stories, she confessed to Monica, which is another character we'll get into shortly. Yeah, she confesses to Monica about how she has been dealing with this depression. And Monica, she is the vice president, which another spoiler, she's not a vice president, she's the president of the literature club. Now, I won't go too much into Monica just yet, just because she's a very important and key character in the story. But as far as her interactions with Sayori felt, you know, she felt vulnerable enough to share, you know, her feelings with Monica about how she's so depressed and how she feels so worthless, and how, you know, she just wishes that she would just, you know, just not be on the planet no more, how she doesn't feel worthy enough to be alive. And, you know, being the good president that Monica is, she confides in her and tells her, you know, like, everything's gonna be okay. You know, you're worth something to me. So with that being said, I guess with the way that those two interacted, you would think, oh, okay, Sayori's gonna be fine. So as time goes on, it's more like a we get into this thing where we have to go to a festival, but for some reason, I guess Sayori, she was just in her feelings and then asking me like, hey, would you rather walk home with Yuri or would you walk home with me? I mean, like, it really matters, but I would walk home with Yuri, but I didn't want to tell her that to her face. So it was kind of like, oh, I'd walk home with you, da 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 da. And I guess for some reason she didn't believe that. I don't know why, but it was the truth. She didn't believe it. And I guess come time for the festival, she left early. We didn't even get to the festival. It was like the weekend before. And, Monica had advised us like, hey, I gave you all these assignments and I had to pick who I wanted to go with. So naturally I chose Natsuki, which is another character we're going to get into. And, we were at the house, you know what I'm saying? We were we were baking cupcakes, having a good time, like I invited Natsuki to the Clap Shack, aka my house. And, we were doing good, getting everything set for the festival. And, after that was done, we went outside and shared like almost a heartfelt moment until Sayori comes out of nowhere and just interrupts it. We're about to share a passionate kiss and then Sayori just interrupts it. And the weird thing is that Sayori, I went to go check on her beforehand, before Natsuki even came over. But Sayori was in her room just vibing, just being like weird, I guess. And I asked her like, hey, like, do you want me to spend time with you? And she was like, no, because she feels like she's being pitied. All right, cool. Stay in your room. Da, 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 da. I'm gonna go do my thing. And then she comes out of her room at the wrong time when I'm sharing a passionate moment with Natsuki. And yeah, she saw something she wasn't supposed to see. So then she basically, it just starts coming out, she can't hold it anymore. So she basically confesses her feelings to me, telling me that she loves me. And, I guess it hurts to love somebody, I guess. Like I said, she was like, this girl was all over the place, man. Like I didn't even know what to say until it gave me the option to either confess my love for her or if I should just keep her as a friend. Now, in the beginning of the story, they said, we're friends, that's how she wanted it to be. She wanted things to stay the same. We're friends. So that's exactly what I picked. I said, I'm going to be here for you in the best way I know how. And that's as a friend. And, I guess that's not what she wanted to hear. And after I told her that, she gave me a hug, then dropped to the floor and was just, like, I mean, that's the way she probably said, like, but I was like, and she couldn't take it. So yeah, that was the last I seen of her. And the way, like, she's, like I said, this girl was all over the place, man. She was like an emotional train wreck. Although she was a good friend, I will say that. So I go into my to the literature club the next day, and Sayori doesn't show up. So, I'm asking Monica, like, hey, like, what happened to Sayori? And she was like, oh, like, you kind of like left her hanging this morning, after you guys' like interaction. And I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, you knew that? And she was like, yeah, I know everything. I'm the president. Okay, I didn't think too much of it. But I also remember Monica said something to her like the other day. I really want to know what she said. Because after that, everything just kind of like went downwards for her. Like, she didn't really like perk up at all. But I just thought the girl was just, in her feelings, whatever. So basically, I go in and check on her, go into the room, and I guess, I walk in and she offs herself, she committed a horrible act. And I don't know what to say. I was flabbergasted, because I thought I gave the girl everything she wanted, but it was never enough. I could have told the girl I loved her and she still would have just like hung herself, which is exactly what she did. A little spoiler, I'll show it in my playthrough, but yeah, she ended up basically hanging herself, which is like, like, why would you do that? It's like, I try to be there for you. And it's like, basically what she said is like, oh, if I can't find love, then like, what's the point? And then she's basically does the deed. So the reason why I have Sayori in my D tier for who was glazing me the hardest was her riz is like borderline manipulation, you know. It's like she wants to make you feel bad for her, but by making you feel bad for her, she pushes you off by making it seem like, oh, you got better things to do than to just be around me, like, go ahead, go, you know what I'm saying? It's like what do you want? Like, really, like, let's talk about it. But yeah, like I said, her riz is like borderline manipulation, and that's just something I just can't take, you know. Like, as a young stud like I am, like I can't afford to like have people like that bring me down, even if it is my own friend. Sad to say, but I mean, what could I do for the girl? Like, I tried everything. I even told her I'll be there for you as a friend, and apparently that wasn't enough. So that's the reason why I have Sayori. She gets D tier for her weak game. And oh, I guess apparently there's a song named after her in the game called Sayonara, which is pretty like messed up in my opinion. But yeah, like I said, Sayori, D tier Riz. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say for you, bro. I tried. Oh no, bro, what? All right, next I'm gonna have Yuri as C tier. So the thing about Yuri is she was also a part of the literature club. Very mysterious, little awkward. I mean, I could kind of peep that from the beginning. You know, like she's her interactions with all of us just kind of seem pretty awkward. Like, maybe I was just that captivating of a person. I don't know. Maybe like my aura was just like taking over. But she was just very nervous, very soft spoken. And I called it from the beginning, dude. She was, I don't know, it was something about the purple hair, man. I don't know, but it was smoking. And I also knew like she was a little bit of a freak. I didn't know that beforehand, before I really knew her as a character. I just kind of like, you know, used my assumptions, which are usually right majority of the time. So that part I kind of peeped just because of the purple hair. I think the purple hair is what really sold me on it. But it wasn't until we actually got into the story to where I actually knew a little bit more about her. She did kind of give a little bit of her character away by saying how much like she loves like mysterious and like horror like literature. And you could tell like she was very like captivated by it just by her saying like, oh, like, how is it that, you know, a writer can be so good that it brings you into another world, pretty much, and like warps your thoughts and all that junk. Which, it was just true. This is exactly what this story did. I mean, she was spot on, you know. I guess you could kind of say that was like breaking the fourth wall a little bit, which I didn't really realize at the time, because, you know, I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever. I'm not really thinking about it too much. Like I said before, she was very socially awkward, and I guess apparently she got very, very stimulated when I was like maybe showing her some kind of like real human interaction, which I think is what she was craving. And I think because like she even said it herself in her own side story, like, you know, she thinks that she knows she's weird, or she thinks she's weird, and with that being said, she'll push people away to make herself look weird, to basically fulfill her own assumptions about herself. So I think just me like actually, you know, kind of indulging her in what, you know, real human and social interaction was like, she just couldn't take it. You know, there'd be times when, you know, she'd give me like those looks, and it was very like, what's the word I'm looking for? It was very jarring, I should say. And when I say jarring, I mean that literally, because after those looks, it would follow up with her like kind of like leaving for a little bit. And I guess like maybe she was stimulated to the point to where she didn't know what to do. So there would be a time when I would go find her in the hallway, she would just leave, and then it showed me to a scene of like her like, you know, like cutting herself with knives, or cutting herself, and I'm like, yo, like, hold on. This is a little too much for me too. And I guess Monica, she actually brings up the fact that, you know, Yuri, she when she gets overstimulated, she kind of like, you know, has this weird obsession with like cutting herself. I don't even know how to explain that. Honestly, I've never been in that situation. You know what I'm saying? To where I'm so stimulated. I mean, that's her. That's how she deals with it. Whatever. And I guess throughout the story, I guess her feelings for me becomes more and more strong to where like she starts like doing these weird things. Like there'd be some scenes where she'd be like glitching out, or she'd be saying some mean stuff about Natsuki, which I think these two just hated each other off rip. Like they're two totally polar opposites. And it was just, I didn't know if that was like part of the story or that was just her like speaking to me, but where she couldn't, or Natsuki couldn't hear her. I heard the things she said. I seen what she said. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Yuri, she's one of those ones, man. I don't know. Like I said, she has that weird obsession with like knives and stuff. Even Monica told me like, hey, you know, you should be careful because you're overstimulating her. I mean, like that's my fault, you know? Like I can't help that people just get overstimulated by me. You know, like, I mean, Monica, why don't you do something to help her? You know, like if you know so much, why don't you help? So yeah, and then we get into this point in the story where we're sharing poems, and she's like just overly infatuated, like to the point to where she's trying to like get me alone by ourselves, which sounded cool in the beginning, but as the story got on, like I didn't really sound like a good idea, because she was showing me some signs that hanging out with her alone just wasn't the best deal. Then it got to a point to where we're sharing poems, and there's like a bunch of this stuff like on the poem. It's like blood and like some other substance, and I'm just looking at it like, yo, like what's up with this poem? Why is there like stains on it? And then Yuri goes like, oh yeah, also I have your I stole your pen from you, and you know I used it to like, you know, she's basically using it to commit some dirty acts. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna say what it was, but she was committing some very dirty acts with my pen. And my thing is like, yo, it's not even the fact that, you know, you were doing what you were doing with the pen, but it's like you stole my pen. What if that was the only pen I had? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you know, you took it upon yourself to take my pen and do whatever you did with it. Like I said, I'm not gonna say what was done, but if you've played the game, you'll know exactly what kind of atrocity she committed with my pen. And she tried to give it back to me. I'm like, yeah, you know what, you can actually keep that, it's fine. It's not my favorite pen. But yeah, all good. Not really, but yeah. So basically it got to a point to where she couldn't contain herself, and she's had to, like Sayori, confess her love to me. Like I didn't see that coming. And yeah, I either got the yes or the no option. And I had to be honest. Like listen, I'm a very honest person. I'm just gonna say it like it is, you know. If I don't want you, I don't want you. So I told Yuri, and even all the signs she was exhibiting, I couldn't go through with that. So I hit no, like any normal person would do. And yeah, she basically just ends up stabbing herself. I bleeped it out in my playthrough just because I can't show all that for YouTube. But yeah, I basically boarded everything out. If you didn't know already, yeah, she basically stabs herself because she got so overstimulated. She didn't know how to handle it. And yeah, I mean, we basically sat there, watched her body like, you know, decay for like 3 days. And then Monica comes in all of a sudden like, oh, yeah, I kind of knew this was going to happen. Like, yo, like, bro, the girl's like literally just there, and you're not going to like, you know, not gonna have like any kind of like sadness on you. You're just like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, I kind of thought this was gonna happen. Brother, what? I mean, Natsuki probably had the most genuine reaction. I mean, she like was seeing it and then just like immediately started like throwing up and left. It's sad to see her go, but honestly, Yuri, she deserves the C tier. It was borderline manipulative. Well, I mean, not really manipulative, but she was just borderline scary. And like I said, like she was hot, and I knew she was freaky in the beginning, but maybe a little too freaky for my liking. So Yuri, she gets C tier Riz for that one. Whoa, hold on, wait, hold on, Yuri, oh no, whoa. All right, and then next up on the list, we have Monica for B tier is. Now, okay, let me tell you something about Monica. Monica, you'll be hearing Monica a lot throughout the story. She's the president of the literature club, which is fine because it really does fit her personality. Like, you know, like she said she was the president of the debate club and just kind of like deviated from that. As like, yeah, okay, you know what? I think I'll start a literature club. Why not? She's president of the literature club. And throughout the story, she gave me the vibe that she really cared about her classmates. Like really did care for them. You know, always wanted to be there for them, not only as a president, but as a friend. But as the story went on, like I didn't get those kind of vibes from her. And it showed too. She was always smiling, flirting with me every chance she got. And if you guys noticed throughout the story, she never breaks eye contact from me at all. Like Monica is always staring at me non-stop. Literally, like she does not break eye contact from you at all. Or me, you, whoever's playing the game does not break eye contact at all. Which is kind of scary at the same time, because what we also don't know as the story goes on, Monica, she's a master manipulator. And when I say master, I mean that literally, like master manipulator. This girl, bro, when I found this out, like I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. So remember how in the beginning during Sayori's backstory, how she confessed like how depressed she was to Monica? Bro, Monica knew what Sayori was going through, how deep she was in depression, yet she weaponized her insecurities to make her kill herself, and then tried to act like she didn't know what happened. Really, she weaponized her insecurities to make her kill herself. Which I really want to know, what did Monica say to her the day before she did that? Because she said, oh, let me go talk to her. She talked to her. I really want to know what Monica said, because whatever she did, it didn't help. She just amped up the process. I don't know why she made sweet Sayori do that, man. I mean, what's even more crazy is that in my interactions with Monica, and I didn't even catch this the first time, but in my interactions with Monica, so remember how I said, or how I rejected Sayori, and then the next day I come into the literature club, and Monica was like, you know, you really left her hanging this morning. I swear, I totally glanced over that. When Monica said, you know, you really left her hanging this morning. And then I actually went back, watched the footage, and seen like all the events play out. I was like, Monica, how diabolical do you have to be? Like, Monica, why would you do that, Monica? Why? You drive the girl to kill herself, and then you drop a bar like, you know, you left her hanging. Like, that's just diabolical, man. And then on top of that, she amped up Yuri's feelings by making her so overstimulated that she just ended up stabbing herself, and, you know, literally manipulated her character, which she actually admits to in the end of the story. She manipulated everybody's characters to the point to where she could just be with me and me alone. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, what really gave it away for Yuri is the fact that when we came in, I think, so in the events where her body was basically like, you know, decaying and all that, it was over the weekend. It was over the course of 3 days. So when Monica came back and didn't really like act surprised at all, that's when I knew, like, oh, okay, something's up. Like, Monica, like who are you, bro? You know, like that's just kind of scary, because the character she was portraying as this sweet president, I care for all my friends, if you need anything, just come to me. They all did. You drove them to, you know what I'm saying? You drove them to kill themselves. Like, how horrible of a person do you have to be? Now, with all that being said, I just gotta say, Monica, you are the worst club president of all time. I've only known you for, let's see, how long did I play this game? I've only known you for like 10 hours in real game time. And you are the worst club president in the history of club presidents. Monica. Although I will give you this, she knows what she wants. And her Riz is deathly unmatched, you know? Like, she'll go through great lengths just to get what she wants. And, you know, like, throughout the story, she'll do whatever it takes to be with me, even manipulating the game's code. So I can't say her heart-pounding literature is a force to be reckoned with, and Monica is a master at gaslighting. Like I said before, master manipulator. That plays into that perfectly. And, you know, although she went through the extremes to have me by any means, literally went through the extreme, doing the most just to get me to herself, I can't be with somebody who has to manipulate people to get what they want. I mean, if I'm being honest, I should have put Monica at like D tier because she was just committing the most heinous things. But, you know, at the same time, you got to respect it. You know, it's like she knows what she wants and she'll do anything and get it done by any means necessary, which is why I have Monica at B tier. You know, you love to hate her and you hate to love her at the same time. It's kind of weird.
Your reward will be great. Behold!
All right, and last but not least, we have Natsuki, A tier Riz, and I'm gonna tell you why. We didn't really have too many interactions in the story, but the interactions we did have were pretty like, what's the word I'm looking for? They were pretty like normal. Yeah, I guess normal's like, normal's the best way to put it. And very like genuine too. Like, you know, she's my gorgeous pink hair yandere. You know, we always gotta have one of those. Especially when they're not the crazy types, because usually yanderes are considered like crazy, but no, she was actually a very sweet girl. Throughout the story, she kind of gave me the vibe of like, you know, she tries to put on like she doesn't really like care too much or doesn't really want you, but in the heat of the moment is like, you know, she's really a sweetheart. That's the vibe that I get. She's very wholesome, you know, very cutesy. That's what her personality gives off. I even, you know, like even when we had to, when I had to pick on who I wanted to help over the weekend for the what is it for the festival, I had the choice of either Yuri, Monica, or Natsuki. At that time, dude, I was so dead set on taking down Yuri and Monica, but something just told me, you know what, let me give Natsuki a chance. So I picked Natsuki, and I think honestly that was the best decision I probably could have made. And now, like, with all this foresight, you know what I'm saying, took her to my clap shack, aka the house. We baked cupcakes. I mean, you know, we were like high-key flirting. We were high-key flirting, not even low-key, but we were like high-key flirting. And honestly, like, I kid you not, like, through our interactions, I could tell, like, first time she came over, she was ready to give up the buns, like, on the first meet. I'm not even playing. I mean, how I could tell, I don't know, but I'll let, if you guys watch the story, I'll let you decide that for yourselves. And it was very wholesome, you know, like we were baking cupcakes, had a little bit of playful banter, I should say. And after the cupcakes were done, she wanted to stay and read manga, but you know, she couldn't because we ran out of time. And we go outside, sharing a heartfelt moment, and then she comes up to me, she's like, I've been feeling it. I'm like, feeling what? And then as we're about to share a kiss, Sayori, like I said, when she should have stayed in her room, Sayori interrupts right when we're about to have a passionate, everlasting kiss, which completely destroys the moment, and Natsuki runs off. So Sayori basically just ruined that whole moment. Natsuki, I'd probably say she was the most normal person out of the three of them, just because like she had that unspoken aura that was like very captivating. Like you get like, it's like everybody else is just trying too hard, especially Monica. Like Monica was trying way too hard. Sayori, she was manipulative. Yuri, she was a nut job. Monica, manipulative and a nut job. Basically, Sayori and Yuri personalities into one. But Natsuki, she was like really the most genuine one out of the group. Like I said, she had that unspoken aura. And, you know, I could tell she really cared for her friends. Even when during, like when Yuri was going cuckoo, she wrote me a note saying like, you know, I want you to like help her as much as you can. Like, please try to help her. You know, she's gonna think like I'm like, you know, hating on her or something, but you know, like help her, please. Like that note, it was kind of like eerie, but at the same time, like, you could tell like she really cares for her friends, which I really like. And after all that, I'd probably say after getting to know all four of them, Natsuki, she gets the A tier Riz. You know, she didn't try too hard at all. Everything just flowed properly. She didn't have any crazy moments where she was spazzing out on us. You know, we didn't have to like walk in on her, you know what I'm saying, like doing the deed, you know, committing suicide. She didn't take our pen, you know what I'm saying, and did unspeakable things with it. She didn't manipulate the game and manipulate the characters to get what she wanted. None of that. So, like I said, say Natsuki, A tier is. A tier is, like I said. I'm pretty happy with this list, in my opinion. I think it was a fair assumption after playing the game. Getting through everybody's like characters and really like analyzing who they were. I think this is perfect. Sayori D tier, Yuri C tier, Monica B tier, Natsuki A tier. I guess you could switch Monica and Natsuki around just because the points I made for Monica, you would think she was glazing me the hardest. But this is just like, it was like evil, you know? Like it was just too much. Monica, she's just too much, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my tier list. Like I said, this is which character was glazing me the hardest. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Hit that like button, subscribe, tune into the playthrough if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.